Guys, deluded Gooner. Of course, today we've played our first preseason game in Australia. I think it was Sydney FC. I think at the same time, I think I could be wrong on that. Very bad of me not to know who we're playing, but can you really forgive me? Who watches Australia? Who cares? Okay, we know the focus of preseason: fitness, rhythm, all things of that nature. Starting, there was a bit of a shock. A couple youngsters played. Bramwell started the left back, the guy who's come from non-league to playing for the academy. Love all of that. Love that story. Kozlesniak, the new left back we've already signed. Bielik started. Joe Willock started. Obviously, his brother went to Benfica. Highly rated Reece Nelson started. Yeah, man. Lacazette was on the bench. There was a couple other starts, but I can't. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I can't remember. On the bench, everybody was named apart from, I believe, Lauren Koscielny and Ramsey. Probably got some issues or something going on there. Who knows? But yeah, so yeah, we started off to be expected from the get-go. We started off well. I believe in literally the first minute, because Lesniak played a lovely ball forward all game. I loved how he brought the ball out of defence. We started off sharply. Nelson controlled it, and I think it was the second minute. Wells played in Nelson, or Nelson played in Wells. I can't remember, and the shot came to no avail. Walcott missed a lot of chances in the game as well. But yeah, in the third minute, lovely run from Reece Nelson, who was very confident in the game. Lovely run, played through Joe Willock. Joe Willock, it was saved by the keeper. Resulting corner. Ozil crosses in. Eventually, it falls to Mertesacker. He taps it in. He manages to eventually tap it in, and then we go 1-0. We go 1-0 up now. And then yeah, now it's important how we build from there. And we kept going. I do believe to a degree throughout the whole game we played within ourselves and things of that nature. Bramwell impressed me as well in the 8th minute. Lovely little bit, lovely dribble by him. He played it into, I can't even remember who he played it into, and it came to no avail. But we really looked like we were playing well. First half, Nelson put in a lovely amount of crosses that weren't, that whether they were whipped in behind and low, that Theo and Welbeck missed, or they were just slightly over the top, which Wells could have headed home. There was a lot of efforts. I was impressed by Nelson, his balance, his dribbling, the way he was creating space for Mesut Ozil to run into, his link-up play with Mesut Ozil. In fact, I was impressed with Bramwell as well. He needs to improve defensively. He's a bit frail there. He wasn't really tested today. That's just something I know. But going forward, he showcased a lovely range of skills. Got forward, and that's all it's about. Whether you're a defender or a striker, a big part of our play is everybody contributing. Joe Willock playing somewhat the holding role with Coughlin, purely because of the ability and things like that. We can get away in pre-season with doing certain things such as that. So yeah, he had a good game. He controlled it. For someone who's relatively small, he didn't shy away from the physical challenge. Made a number of tackles. Showed excellent passing range. Had a great incidents in the first half where he dribbled past. He must have dazzled past about four players. Eventually, just couldn't get the shot away, and it was saved. The same goes for Nelson. I was impressed how he drifted to the left. He drifted inside. He was a wing back, but he didn't shy away from his defensive duty. He was constantly seen marking his runner, constantly in talks with Bilic, who to stay in front, who to stay behind, and that's what you want to see. Of course, we relied a lot today on youth exuberance to get us through, and because they have a point to prove, ultimately they want to be in the first team. So they were going for it. We missed a penalty as well in the second half, but in the first half, yeah, we weren't really tested defensively either. I don't know. Czech must have fell asleep. The defenders must have fell asleep. Dream debut for Kozlesniak. Bielik wasn't tested at all. So yeah, they weren't really anything to report in the first half. Theo missed, like I said already, Theo missed so many chances. I mean, Theo, you've got to be better than that. We can't draw too many conclusions from one game, but your place is under threat and you're moving like this, and the youngsters are looking more sharp than you. Ozil looked amazing. A side note, it's also, we've got to remember this side that we played have also somewhat in pre-season of their own. Their season starts in October. We haven't played in 7 weeks, but equally they haven't played for a while as well. Second half started off similar to how the first opening stage of the first half started. Excellent who put in an excellent run and dribble from Reece Nelson. I just remembered it now. For Nelson, he was positive going forward. The right hand side, a lot of our youth was on the right hand side. Bielik and Nelson, it was very inexperienced right hand side, and you couldn't tell because they were beating their men. They were getting on the shoulder. Nelson looks very direct. He loves to run at people, and that's what we needed to see. Like I said, 51st minute, excellent cross. Eventually fell to Bramwell. Bramwell couldn't get his footing right, just blazed over. 53rd minute, I believe we had a penalty or something like that. Like I said already, Welbs, terrible penalty. People say he missed on purpose because it was injustice, because it did hit the defenders back on the replay. But for me, it looked like he tried to score, and it was terrible. Theo, shortly after this again, Theo was missing sitters. Oh, and even in the run up to the penalty, Theo missed a sitter. So yeah, he was really having a torrid time. As the game went on and we got tired and they got tired, gaps started to open up and you started to see gaps between midfield and defence. This is the big thing about pre-season, just getting fitness. And you thought the 60th minute subs were going to happen, and it did. A flurry of changes. Like Giroud came on, Iwobi came on, Maitland-Niles came on, Daniel Maitland came on, Elneny came on, Big Money Lacazette came on. I don't think I'm missing anyone else. Oh, Martinez came on for Czech at some point. And towards the end of the game, Monreal came on. But yeah, I think in the 60th minute, I haven't forgotten any of them. Iwobi, if I haven't said it. Yeah, the next goal's for 2-0. Dream debut for Lacazette. Ball eventually falls to Iwobi. Iwobi makes some space for himself, puts a whipped ball in. Lacazette, like we've seen him do for Lyon and get however many goals he got last year, I believe 28 or something like that in the league. Taps home. Dream debut 2-0. And yeah, we win the game. I think it did look a bit like Lacazette was playing on the left-hand side and Giroud through the middle, purely because we had a lot of attacking options. People just trying to get on. Can't read too much into that, but it did give us a glimpse as to how we could set up next year in some games or whatever. It's important, like I said, we don't draw too many conclusions. There's clearly a gap in quality between the two sides. We've had 7 weeks off. They've had their on their break as well, even more. We had ridiculous amount of time in possession, so we weren't tested, we weren't pressed. So we can't really gas up ability and things like that, particularly the young players, because they will be tested, where they'll have less time on the ball, have to make decisions quicker. Today would be the dream game. This is the dream of pre-season opener. It gradually builds you into it. Like I said, we had ridiculous amount of time, space, and possession. It was good for the youth to see Bramall bombing down the left, Nelson bombing down the right. Joe Willock, based on today, it was like he's always been around Arsenal's first team. Defensively, we weren't tested at all. Like I said, we didn't have too many answers, to things to answer for in the first half defensively. Apart from, I think there was an effort Czech had to deny, and then the rebound went wide. End of the second half, Martinez had to sweep up Elneny's poor pass, and I think Maitland-Niles played a poor pass in the second half. But other than that, we weren't tested defensively. It was good to see our link-up play looking sharp. I do believe it could look sharper. A lot of our players are somewhat rusty, but yeah, we're coming up. We're coming up, and based on the first game, we can't draw too many conclusions, but it does look good for us. In regards to the guys who made their debut, because Leslie actually impressed with how he brings the ball out from the back. Why do I keep saying improved? Impressed with his range of passing. Nelson, the way he makes space for himself, the way he hovers around the pitch, his intelligence, his technique, his movement, his crossing, his ability. He has some incidences where he could have scored, but we have to remember he turns 18 in December. It's crazy how good he is at 17 years of age. We can't get ahead of ourselves. This isn't the best of teams to test people against, but he had a good game. The same goes for Bramall, with Gibbs looking like he's going to be sold, and Monreal probably this is his last year. This is your time to get in Wenger's thoughts and things like that. And even so, if we play 3 centre-halves like we did today, which is more than likely going to be, depending on Monreal, more than likely going to be our first choice for the first game in the season, he gives a chance you can be the deputy left-back, get yourself in the manager's foot. He's 21/22, so he kind of needs to do that. Bielik weren't tested either, but showed why he's highly rated. His passing range, he's bringing the ball out the back. Yeah, Mertesacker did his thing as well. There's not much more to say other than that, guys. Another criticism, I do believe we should have scored more because we created a lot and people missed a lot of sitters, and Welsh should have put in the penalty. We should have probably put this to bed in 5-0 in the first half. Only real criticism. But like I said, guys, there's not really much you can read into it. Main guy for me, Ozil looked very sharp today. Yeah, man of the match for me, Ozil/Reece Nelson. Could probably put Bramall closely behind them. But yeah, guys, there's not much more to say other than that on the basis of our first game in pre-season. We then play on Saturday or Sunday, and then we go to China to play Munich and Chelsea. But guys, Deluded Goon, I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Arsenal 2, Sydney FC, I think, 0.